Welcome to the Forsyth Magazines podcast. I'm Brooke Eagle, your host, bringing you the stories of the people shaping our community. From business owners to local leaders, we'll explore their journeys, passions, and lessons learned. Let's dive in. Hey guys, we are back with another podcast episode, and today I have Jennifer and Megan with the American Heart Association of the Triad. Jennifer is the Senior Community Impact Director, and Megan is the Marketing Communications Director. Hi, ladies.
Hi.
Hello. Thanks for coming to chat with me today.
We're excited to be here.
Yeah, thanks for having us. I'm excited to learn a little bit more about the American Heart Association. So, Jennifer, I want to start with you. I want to hear just a quick background on how you got involved with the American Heart Association.
Yeah, so I have quite the family history of heart disease and sudden cardiac arrest and heart attack. About 3 generations of family history of heart disease.
Wow.
As a teenager, I experienced my grandfather go through the DASH diet, the Mediterranean diet, all the things that you should do when recovering from heart surgery. And then my mom died of a sudden cardiac arrest my freshman year of college. She did have some risk factors such as high blood pressure, her own family history of heart disease from my grandfather. That really put me in a career of prevention. And health and wellness. I have a bachelor's and a master's in nutrition. And I've always kind of been on that prevention education side of my career when it comes to heart disease. And then about 3 years ago, I joined the American Heart Association of the Triad. And I didn't know how meaningful that CPR work was going to be. And I could still do that prevention work that I'm so passionate about.
That's amazing. I love that. Megan, how about you?
Wow, that's going to be hard to follow up with. So I joined the American Heart Association back in November of 2024, and my connection to the mission is my biological grandmother passed away from stroke, and just being able to see that firsthand, her not having the tools, my family not having the tools to take care of her post stroke, not having the awareness, all of those barriers to her fully regaining, her life before stroke. It was hard to watch and see. And, she ended up passing away from complications from her stroke over the next few years because she did not have the knowledge, and her family did not have the knowledge and the understanding of how to take care of her. So that is what has spawned my desire to align with the mission. And being in this position, like you were talking about, of these are preventable diseases. These are preventable cases. But if you don't have the knowledge, if you don't have the education, you can't take action to own your health journey. So that is what guides my impact.
Love that. Well, before we dive into what all of the amazing things that American Heart is doing, I would love to hear just the top 2 or 3 preventative things that you would give to somebody who just has no knowledge about this, just to get them on the right track.
I would say the top 2 for me are not smoking and a healthy eating pattern. Those, when it comes to modifying your risk factors, those, are things you can control. You can't control your race. You can't control your age. You can't control your family history. But not smoking, I would even say quitting if you already are smoking, and a healthy eating pattern can be so impactful.
Yeah. And I know I feel like people can make nutrition so complicated, but to kind of dumb it down for us, what are some nutrition tips that you would give?
Yes. I say boring nutrition is good nutrition. The things that are mundane that you repeat over and over and over are going to make the greatest impact. 5 servings of fruits and vegetables a day. Don't overthink what's a serving. Use your fist as a guide. So 3 servings of vegetables, 2 servings of fruit every day. Continue that week after week after week, following something like a plate method, right? So if you think about a plate, dividing it in half, putting half of your plate with fruits and vegetables, a quarter of your plate protein, a quarter of your plate, a high fiber carbohydrate, you're on a really good track. And just do that boring, mundane thing day after day after day.
Yeah, that will truly be life-changing. Yeah. I don't disagree. So what is the mission of American Heart Association? And talk about just a little bit of the work that y'all are doing in our community.
So the mission of the American Heart Association is to reduce heart disease and stroke. We do that through research, education, advocacy, and community programs. At the end of the day, we want a world of longer, healthier lives for everyone, everywhere.
Yeah.
Locally in the Triad, that can look a lot of different fun ways. Maybe you think of CPR when you think of the American Heart Association. Maybe you think of our stamp of approval on a Cheerios box. I've heard all kinds of spectrums about what people think of when they think of the Heart Association. CPR is a big thing that we do. We on a mission to create what we call a nation of lifesavers. So that means that someone steps in and performs at a minimum hands-only CPR in the event of a cardiac arrest. In sudden cardiac arrest, your heart stops beating. So when you're doing compressions on someone, you're that person's heartbeat. You are the bridge between an AED or a defibrillator being applied to give that person a chance at survival. Only about 10% of people survive sudden cardiac arrest, and it's one of the only it's one of the only medical emergencies that relies on the community to respond to determine if you live or not.
Yeah.
So that's a big thing we do. Blood pressure is a big priority in the Triad. Over half of Americans have high blood pressure, and many don't even know that they have it. So we work to set up blood pressure monitoring stations throughout the community in all kinds of various settings for very strategic reasons. That could be a church, a pharmacy, a faith community, a library, which we're going to talk about more today. We work with women's health organizations to help women understand how things like pregnancy and perimenopause impact your heart differently. And of course, nutrition, making sure that consumers have the skills and the tools and the education to eat healthy and ultimately reduce their risk for heart disease.
Yeah. Oh, that's so important. Before we talk about the libraries, my dad had a stroke a few years ago, and I know the education part is so important. He was at home with my mom, luckily, and she will tell anybody who will listen that the only reason she was aware of what to do so quickly was because of articles that we've ran in the magazine over the years that tell you those symptoms and what to look for and because the average person doesn't just know that off the top of their head.
Yeah.
So it's so important to be educated about that kind of thing so that you can help yourself or a loved one in that emergency situation.
And I think that just shows the prevalence, right? I mean, we are 4 people in a room right now, and we all have a connection to heart disease or stroke. And that just, if we think about
literally
how that
100% of us.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's so true. So I want to hear about the origin story of the Libraries with Heart. Such a cool concept.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
So Libraries with Heart is a initiative out of the American Heart Association nationwide. So states all over the country are participating in this. Libraries with Heart started about 5 years ago with the goal to put blood pressure monitoring stations in libraries. And you might think, well, like, why a library? Well, there's tons of reasons why a library. Oftentimes are these kind of central hubs in the community. A lot of people know about them. They're not new things that you have to learn about. They're pretty deeply rooted in communities. People have been going to them for a really long time. They're really safe. They're accessible. They're open to the public. They are a hub of information. People are accustomed to going there to get resources, to get education. And they also serve an underserved population a lot of the times, which is really important when it comes to the work of the American Heart Association, making sure we can meet people where they are. So why not take the infrastructure and the knowledge and power of a library and make that a health hub?
Yeah.
And one way to do that is with what we call self-monitoring or self-measured blood pressure station, meaning you can go in and check your blood pressure yourself with all the tools and resources and everything laid out there to do that for you.
That's awesome. And I'm sure there's like a chart or something there that says what is good and bad. Because I know when I go to the doctor and they tell me and I'm like, Is that good? I don't know.
Right.
It's got colors and everything. It's really
perfect.
pretty.
Yeah,
Perfect.
we definitely want it to be super clear. That you can translate what you just experienced into practice. So knowing where your blood pressure falls in blood pressure categories. So is it normal, elevated, stage 1 hypertension, stage 2 hypertension, or a hypertensive emergency, and what to do if you had that blood pressure reading that puts you in that category. And of course, how to measure accurately.
Yeah.
I don't know about your blood pressure measurement experiences in the doctor's office. I've usually run from the parking deck, thrown my jacket off, barely caught my breath.
Yeah.
And the CNA is asking about my kids, and and I'm just like, wait a minute, give me my best shot to get a good reading here.
Yeah.
So it really walks you through, like, what do I need to do to get an accurate reading? And that we hope that the library is this quiet, calming environment.
Good point.
Yeah, so one of the goals here is have you maybe heard the phrase like white coat hypertension?
Yeah.
You have
Me,
some
I have that,
anxiety, you have some nerves around getting your blood pressure checked.
Yeah.
We hope that getting these measurements outside of a clinic in that relaxing setting, whether it be the library or at home, captures your true blood pressure.
I was going to say, you can also, I'm sure that you can buy something on Amazon that to track your blood pressure at home. My dad is a stickler about measuring his blood pressure.
Now, my doctor and my cardiologist both says be wary of those because they are historically inaccurate.
Ugh.
However, it's still a good ballpark.
Yeah.
When I was pre-gaming, telling you about my re-emergence of symptoms in October, and they did the stress test. My stress test, I was like 214 over 100.
Oh, boy.
And but they upped. I'm like on 2 different blood pressure medicines and stuff, and I was at Core Life last week, a week ago today, and my blood pressure was 127 over 78.
Which is a major improvement.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So I'm like, I'll take it.
And that's what we want the community to understand, is it really captures this whole picture. And I'm going to circle back to another point in a minute about the devices that you can buy online. But it really tells you, is it my nutrition or physical activity that's making an impact? Mm-hmm. Is it my sticking to my medication regimen? Is it the fact that my doctor added another medication to the picture? It kind of really paints this full picture. And if you do start to really like your outcomes, you really adhere to those behaviors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A lot of people are very numbers driven. And when they see those numbers improve, that really motivates them to kind of stick to what might be working well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm triple motivated. One, I have to be available.
Right.
I have to be.
Yeah.
That's me. 2, I have my family to take care of. And 3, I like when people say, you've lost weight. And whenever I stand on the scale and look down and see that I have, and I'm like, excellent.
Yeah. Or that.
Because you worked
number
hard for
on
that.
Yeah, exactly.
I have.
Yeah.
I mean, since really I started all that and right around Thanksgiving, which is a horrible time to start. But I did, and I just again made it was for me. I swore to myself, I'm not giving anything up because I have to be happy.
Yeah.
Not above, but on the same level as everything else. I have to be healthy, but I also have to be happy. Mm-hmm. And food has always been my happy place, not as a stress thing. I'm a food blogger, right? So, I mean, food has been my life. My son actually works for the guest we'll talk to next as a sous chef. And I got him into that because I love food.
Yeah.
I don't eat for sustenance. I eat for sport.
Right.
But at the same time, I can be mindful.
Right.
I don't have to give anything up. I just have to be more mindful of when I'm having it and how much of it. Mm-hmm. Instead of burgers 4 times out of 7 days a week, now I have them maybe once every 2 weeks. I'm not giving up burgers.
Moderation.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, it's not even moderation. It's just complete mindfulness.
Yeah.
Zooming out, looking at the whole picture.
Yeah.
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 And I'm like, do I have to have it today? No.
And I feel like it tastes better when you
Oh,
don't
yeah.
have it all the time.
savor it.
It's a euphoric, dare I say, orgasmic almost feeling of when you taste it, you're like, oh, yeah.
Worth the wait.
But it doesn't to me. What it doesn't do is make me go, I want another, because I have convinced myself now. You just don't need that, Tim.
Yeah.
Settle down.
And it's not going away.
Right.
You know,
I
you
can have
haven't-
it when I want it. I just
Yeah.
don't have to want it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And nutrition is one thing that you can learn at the blood pressure monitoring station. So we've
Okay.
provided what we kind of have captured as the most important things for heart health. So information on, nutrition, physical activity, tobacco cessation, sleep, stress management, and then of course like the measuring accurately, which I want to circle back to his point about the devices online. So one thing about any blood pressure station that we set up is we provide what we call a validated device, which means it's been third-party tested for accuracy. So patrons can feel pretty confident that if they followed these instructions that we really clearly laid out for them, provided them with a validated device, that they're getting a good picture of what their true blood pressure is.
So what does it look like when you go to a library? And is it available in like every library?
So right now it's available in 8 out of the 10 Forsyth County libraries.
Okay.
There's some kind of space limitations we're working through in 2 of them, but hope to overcome those challenges and set up in all 10. So you would first walk in the door and a window cling will tell you, there's a blood pressure monitoring station in here. And you're like, okay, cool. I need to find that. And if you don't stop and ask, reception where it is, look for some AHA logos, look for libraries with heart signage and pull-up banners. And okay, here's the self-monitoring blood pressure station. You would sit down in a comfortable chair. You would have all the infographics you need to do this yourself.
Okay.
You would choose a cuff that's the right cuff size for you. You just follow those instructions, at that station. Put on a cuff, rest, and press start and stop. It's as simple as that. And that's what we really want people to understand is there's beauty in the simplicity, and it's accessible, and any adult can use it.
Yeah.
Is it at the Buchanan Street, or is that one of the 2 that's not there?
It's so Southside and Walkertown.
Well, Southside is the one. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I live 2 minutes from there.
Okay,
so.
it's a little tight in there. But we're gonna work to make it happen.
Yeah.
So I know sometimes high blood pressure and or heart attacks, specifically in women, I feel like are referred to as like the silent killer.
Yeah.
Because there's not as many symptoms.
That's right.
Can we talk about that for a minute?
Yeah, so high blood pressure, like you're saying, is people call it the silent killer because you don't feel symptoms. You don't have anything that drives you into the doctor's office saying, hey, I'm not feeling good. This is really bothering me. So the only way to know if you have it is to know your numbers. But on the back end, high blood pressure is going to work. And it's causing damage to your kidneys, to your blood vessels, to your vision, to your sexual organs, to your kidneys. So that's often why it's called the silent killer. You don't have any symptoms, and quietly there's this cascade of events, this domino effect that can happen in the back end that can lead to heart attack and stroke.
Yeah. What are some symptoms of a heart attack or stroke that we should be on alert for, if for us or for a loved one?
I'll
they
start
call
with
us?
stroke since that
Face.
resonated. Yes, fast.
Fast. That's right. Fast.
Face
Yeah.
is the first letter in fast.
yeah.
So you're on to something there. So for stroke, an easy acronym to remember is FAST, F-A-S-T. F stands for face. So if you notice someone's face drooping, particularly on one side of the body, that's a sign. A stands for arm, so like a heaviness in the arm or a numbness in the arm or like a drop dead arm. S is speech. Because of that face drooping, speech can often be jumbled, slurred, and also difficulty with word finding. And T is time to call 911. There's some medications that a first responder can give right away that really drives those outcomes.
Yeah, if they get there in time. Yeah.
As far as heart attack, so that kind of elephant on the chest is you'll hear survivors talk about a lot. I'd be curious to know some of the symptoms that drove you.
So I did not have a heart attack.
Okay.
You talked about sleep earlier. I hate sleep and
Okay.
don't want to do it.
The only person I know.
Don't hear that often.
If I did not have to do it, I certainly would not ever. There's so many other things I could do. However, I have never been a good sleeper because I have severe sleep apnea. And the reason I had triple bypass heart surgery was because of sleep apnea. The funny, I don't know if it's funny, but the strange occurrences that led up to my surgery were all kinds of pain in my left arm, coming up, crawling across my chest all the way to my arms on the other side. And my mother-in-law was a nurse for 50 years, and we were in Disney World, of all places. I had just graduated college.
The happiest place in the world.
I know.
Yeah,
Wow.
and I
Dang
did
it,
not
Tim.
get to be all that happy. It was the only time I was ever there on my 15 trips that I did not enjoy it. And
I just learned you're a Disney adult.
I am. I used to be a Disney travel agent.
Oh, wow. That's so cool.
So I spent all my time on the wall holding my arms and rocking
Wow.
because it was so bad. And my mother-in-law on the phone to my then fiance says, it doesn't sound like a heart problem. It sounds like a GI problem. So when I got home, I called my regular doctor and he says, that sounds more like a GI problem. So they sent me to get an ultrasound of my gallbladder and other things. And turns out the ultrasound was done by a trainee who did not know exactly what they were doing.
Oh, no.
So they said the gallbladder looked great.
Perfect storm.
So let's move on to something else. And they put me on, it wasn't a full stress test. It was just let's get something to have something. And everything looked fine until I stopped and then it spiked. So they sent me to get a heart catheterization and found out that I had blockage of 99% in one. The Widowmaker was 97%, and a third one was 95.
Oh, you would have had a heart attack any day.
Yeah.
But after 2 years after my surgery, they pulled my gallbladder out, and it was dead, shriveled up,
Oh, wow.
not existent, dead. And the key there was 2 weeks before I had that removed, I had always had elevated liver enzymes. And 2 weeks before that, my test results showed normal liver activity because my liver wasn't fighting with my gallbladder. So in retrospective, we believe that what I was experiencing was not heart attack symptoms, but gallbladder acting up, telling me, hey, something's wrong here. And it just so happened to lead me to the heart surgery. Now, with those blockages, I certainly needed some help.
Yeah.
But it wasn't my heart that told me. It was my gallbladder.
Did you have other risk factors like high blood pressure or anything like that?
Yes, but not.
Yeah.
I was much smaller then. So I'm probably one of the few people I know that has triple bypass heart surgery and then gains 80 pounds. So that's my goals for my weight loss. The first goal is I started it. I'll go ahead and I'm not afraid to tell my weight. I started at 326. I am now around 301. So that's 25.
Let's go.
My first, and this is all eating. This is not because I hate exercise. I hate all that.
Don't come to be.
This is all food, right? So first goal is 299. I want to touch, so I'm very close to that.
That's awesome.
Don't know what my reward for that will be. My doctor wants me at 280. I think I can do that.
We
my
definitely
goal,
think you can.
my goal, ultimate goal, 249, because that's the weight I was when I had my heart surgery. If I can reach 249, my reward is Paris.
That's a good reward.
Yeah.
So I am motivated because it's my favorite city in the world. I've been there 3 times. I want to be there for a 4th.
There you go.
Is it
So-
the food?
It's somewhat the food, but I just love that city. And I think we want to try to get back to Scotland. I got married in Scotland. So we want to get back there too. But I told my mom these goals and she asked me, she goes, do I need to start saving money? I'm like, I would start now.
Never too early. Oh my gosh. I love it.
So that's where I am on that journey. I took a detour after my surgery, and my doctor actually told me, my cardiologist, you treated it like a cure when it really is only an aggressive treatment.
Yeah.
And it's not a cure. I know this now, and I'm doing all I can. I have an elliptical machine under my desk in there. Whenever I'm editing something while I'm waiting on it to render, I'm just pedaling along.
I love it.
I mean, I will be honest, most of the time it's just a footrest. But at other times, I actually do use it. And because I have lost 25 pounds, my energy level has gone up. And I will print things out one at a time, so I have to walk back and forth. It's a short walk, but it's movement.
Hey, steps
Right,
are
it's micro
steps.
changes,
Yeah,
right.
That's right.
That's a good point. You know, start where you are, meet people in the middle,
Yeah.
and, you know, do something that works for you. If, you know, I know you've got a CrossFit background, and if someone came to me and said CrossFit was the answer, I would have a lot of resistance. But if they said, you know, a home strength training program you can do while your toddler naps, and, you know, I'd be like, sign me up.
Baby
And,
steps.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I think that's a great
Literally, baby
Yeah.
steps.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't overhaul your whole life in
Right.
a month.
Right.
You got to do very small things, and
Yeah.
they add up to make a big difference.
For sure. And back to your kind of question about how does it present for women, and a lot of the things, this warning signs of a heart attack for women are probably things we experience every day.
Yeah.
And don't even think twice, you know, something like sweating, nausea, a little bit of tightness in my chest, you know, those things we can easily brush off, but can be the warning signs for a woman. So that's something to keep in mind.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we are running out of time, but before we wrap things up, I just want y'all to tell us how we can get involved with the American Heart Association, how we can find you guys on social media, online, all that good stuff.
Do you want to field this one?
Yeah, I can fill this in. So there's multiple ways that people can get involved with the American Heart Association, specifically in the Triad area. We're always open to volunteer opportunities. We also have executive level volunteer opportunities as well. And just opportunities to join us in our events like Heart Ball, Go Red, Heart Walk. These are opportunities for our community to align with us and join in the mission and raise funds to support programs and initiatives like Libraries with Heart. We do have an upcoming event coming up called the Heart Ball. If you're interested in that, you can learn more at heart.org/Triad Heart Ball. But for more of a general understanding of what we do, we also have a statewide page. And I believe that URL is American Heart Association North Carolina /North Carolina.
Okay. Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, Jennifer, Megan, it was great to chat with you ladies, and we'll have y'all back on again soon.
Thank you so
It's good to be
much.
here.
Yeah, as always, you can find Forsyth Mags online at forsythmags.com and on Instagram at Forsyth Mags. And if you have ever enjoyed an episode of ours, we would love a rating or a review. And that is a wrap for today. Thanks, y'all. The views and opinions stated on this podcast are solely those of the contributors and not necessarily those of our distributors or hosting companies. This podcast is copyrighted and cannot be reproduced without expressed written consent of Forsyth Magazines Incorporated. Whew, that's a mouthful.